Warning: the techniques employed are performed by professionals and should not be attempted at all. Injury or death can result from executing these techniques. This film is for self-defense, safety, and educational purposes only.
I have to just share that Sister Jendaya, during that time, was my conscience. I have an alter ego, and it was created by the brothers, Brother Hadi, Brother Wanzo. I am Frankenstein. I'm a monster. And once they created me, they said, oh my gosh, now what are we going to do, right? You know, how are we going to handle her? Because they taught me secrets. Secrets that maybe weren't supposed to go past rites of passage for a brother. Maybe that wasn't supposed to be. All right, I'm going to start with the ancient history. And always have some reason of why you do something. There's a reason. You don't just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to learn how to kill people. That's just not going to happen. So what took place? I grew up with 2 silver spoons in my mouth. Quite happy. Life was good. Went to college, right? Went to the University of Pennsylvania. Knew I was all that, intelligent. Only I didn't know life. I didn't know the real world. My grandmother said, be careful. Oh, I know what I'm doing, I know what. The problem was, I went to an all-female school. For 12 years, the only men that I saw was a very old priest and a sewing machine man who came around once every 2 weeks. That was it. One of the things that I did, when I went to the University of Penn, they had what was called the quadrangle. That's where the guys lived. I had never even seen a male urinal in my life. That's just how far removed I was from the male mystique. Me and a young lady from Minnesota went in the bathroom, stepped in the bathroom. There was this thing in the floor. And I said, wow, what's that for? She said, I don't know. I said, well, maybe that's where you wash your feet. She said, maybe so. So there we are standing in a urinal trough. Flush, and the water's just going down. Flush. In walks the resident manager, and it was loud obscenities. And she said, what are y'all doing? We're washing our feet. She's like, oh my gosh, where did they send me? I was stupid as hell. Had no idea. I was raised in a matriarchal environment. That's not good. Because one side of my life, I'm thinking everything's peachy and happy, and now I'm in the real world. Got out there and went, man, I mean college campus. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, oh God, where do I start? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh wow. And I let my ego get the best of me. Didn't listen to my grandmother. The hole was there. She told me about the hole, but did I listen to the hole? No! And see, that was during the Black Power Renaissance Revolution time. And I wanted to prove to my father, who was Jewish, because he being biracial, you know, his problems, you know, had attitude and issues, that I was black. And sometimes when we want to prove something, you don't follow good common sense. Okay, so what did I do? I went out and found a thug, a gangster. I loves him. This man was 14 years So what happens? I bring him home. Mom! Dad! Right? Grandma! I love him. And they're going, like when Sanford and Son. Because they can see right through this urban person. He had a problem written all over. Only thing was, my family was not into, if you had a problem, it went in the basket, in the basement, with dirty laundry. So I married him. Huge wedding. Big white gown, right? You know, the whole 9 yards. Couldn't tell me I was, parents gave us, my grandmother gave us a house for a wedding present. Fixed it all up. Got in the house. The door closed. Now what? The nightmare began. And the nightmare started within the first 2 weeks that I was there with him. The first 2 weeks. Walked up to me one day and grabbed me by my throat and threw me up against the wall. Shock. Total and complete shock. I had never experienced this before. And it was like a ball, rolling snowball. He beat me at least 4 times a week. And I ran home. Grandma. Oh, we can't tell anybody. You know, we must, this domestic violence, no. What are you doing to cause this man to beat you? Oh, no. So, eventually it got to the point that the beatings caused me to end up in the hospital. Every now and then, black eyes, the whole thing. And finally, he just got tired of me and decided to invoke that, you know, to death to his part thing. Only it was going to be on my end. He took an iron kite, he swung it at my head. I had sense at least enough to duck. I ducked. I threw my hands up to protect my head. He hit my ribs, cracked 3 ribs on the side, one went through my lung, right? I ducked. He hit me in the back, and whoever wants to, with 3 cracked vertebrae, okay? Now I'm all beat up. I'm laying on the floor. There's blood everywhere. My kids are screaming. By this time I had 2 sons. And he said, I'm going to leave you here to die. Now the blood's coming out my eyes, out my nose, and out my ears. That tells you your time is up. That's a physical, because everything's filled up on the inside. And he goes to the front door, and he takes the key, and he breaks the key off the door. Because he's going to leave me there to die. I tied my sons in the crib. Anthony, who's 33, still remembers being restrained, still remembers the blood and the screaming and hollering. Adrian doesn't quite remember it, but there's things going on there. I broke a window, I crawled out the window, and walked it was about 6.5, 7 blocks to the hospital. Nobody, this is in Philly, nobody stopped to help me. Wow. Nobody. I'm just bleeding, I'm all beat up, I'm dragging my leg from the kid's leg. And the whole way to the hospital, I'm praying to the Creator. Please, if I survive this, let me be your messenger, that nobody else will ever have to go through this again. So the Creator allowed me to go into the hospital just like this. And a nurse started screaming. Okay. Here's where my kids run and passed out. Now everybody says, oh gosh, I hope it ended. And how? No, he chased me for the next 2 years. Wow. I lived in cars, I lived in basements. 2 years. And I said, enough. That's not what I said. I said, I'm not going to die. I went to this martial arts school. I went to that martial arts school. Everybody was like, go. I didn't want that. I wanted to live. I was tired of dealing with death hanging over my shoulders. So I found Vita Sa'ana, 21st and Burks. And remember, this is during the Black Power time period. This is during the Renaissance. They're the temple of the Black Messiah. And I'm about as aware as what, oh, help me. And that's when Monto brought me into school. They started laughing. Yeah, you? Right. I said, no, really, I have to learn self-preservation. And that's what this class is about. I have taken the time to tell you the story so that you know it can happen to anyone. You can have a perfect life right now, and the wrong decision, the wrong choice can put you right there into death, right in death's door. So you have to think about it. Went to the women's shelter. My roommate was killed in one of the worst murders in Philadelphia. Slit her throat, slit her under her arms, slit her in between her legs, and left her. And why? Because she buzzed him in. Baby, I love you. I'm sorry for what I did. Rule number one. If you kick my ass the first time, I ain't letting you in the door the second time. But sometimes we as women, oh, okay, he's sorry. Well, even as men, she's sorry. And then we do it all over again. It's a setup. So we have to get rid of the ego. That's the number one thing that tells us, okay, it's all right now. It's okay, you're sorry. No. When is violence lethal? All the time. It's lethal. It may start off and you get away. I had an Islamic imam tell me that sometimes people, what they do is, they do stuff that's like eating bad food. You eat it, you're sick, you throw it up, and then you eat it back up off the floor. Because you go back into the same situation. So that's the first rule of this class. If you get out of the hole, don't go back. A person who beats you has issues, and I don't care how good, how much money, how it's a continual cycle, and it doesn't stop. Now, I'm angry. I'm at Vita Sa'ana. I only wanted to learn one thing, and that was how to kill. Why? Because I wanted to be able to kill him, not defend myself, not break his arm. I wanted to kill him if he ever came in my space again. That's a big thing, to want to learn how to kill somebody. So Vita Sa'ana became my drug of choice. I would bring my sons down there and they would sleep in the corner. And I trained 4 to 5 days a week, worked a full-time job, went and did my graduate work, but you best believe I was there training. And what was I training on? I was training on real stuff. You feel that? Anybody ever do that to you before? No. Scary, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You feel that? Mm-hmm. You feel how your life feels right now? Mm-hmm. You think you can get away from that? Yes, you can. Yeah, I can feel that all over here. You feel that? Mm-hmm. That's what'll happen if you get in the wrong car with the wrong person. You hear what I'm saying? Can you get away from this?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
but
you
I
can.
gotta learn.
You gotta learn now. It's not self-defense. Now feel your heart. Feel it. That's how your heart should feel. That's how it should feel. I want to put the fear of God into you. That's what I want to do. I want to, like the old way, I want to scare you. Because if you make the wrong ego choice, you find yourself in situations like that. Now what? Now you have a life or death situation. How do we handle life or death situations? Could you shoot somebody? If I gave you a gun, could you put that gun right to their throat? I'm talking about their head. Could you put that gun to their throat and pull the trigger?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Could you? You sure? Okay. Now, we'll make it a little bit different. We'll make it up close and personal. Would you take this knife and ram it straight up in somebody's throat like this? You could do it?
Got me on my purse right now.
Okay. Could you do it?
Yep.
Could you watch somebody bleed from their throat and beg you to help them? Really? You could take a life?
Depends on the situation.
Could you take a life? Just, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Self-preservation. That's what it's for. Me for you. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Now, imagine having reached that stage. I was almost crazy. I'm telling you, it was a drug. I didn't care anymore.